Okay, the bearings have turned up, so I went for reasonable quality. I mean, they are, can you catch that maybe? SKF, made in France, so they're not China boy ones. Not, no disrespect, their quality's coming up, but I'm just not ready for it just yet. The bearings are standard. This one, they're all three are the same OD, the two crank bearings and the input shaft bearing, or the sleeve bearing if you like, and the output shaft bearing is a standard 6205, and the two crank bearings are standard 6304s. So these are going to go in the fridge now, the freezer, and the cases are going to go in the oven to 150. Just leave them in for half an hour. Then when I obviously bring them out with my I'll probably do it in the kitchen actually, because she's gone out shopping, so she won't know. These will just drop straight in. So the other thing I'm going to do, which is probably a bit unusual, I got double shielded bearings for a reason. Reason being, if I just pick this one as an example for the output shaft or the sleeve gear, if I flick one of these out and leave the open end into the gearbox, it just keeps an extra bit of protection for a seal on this side. I know there's a double seal on that side anyway, so that'll be seal facing outwards, no seal on the inside, and exactly the same for the crank bearings. So the drive side facing that way will have the shield left on, but I'll flip the inside one off, and same with the non-drive side. The non-drive side facing where the oil pickup gallery is will have the shield left in, and this one will be flicked out. The reason for this one is because we're feeding into this centre gallery here, where the oil comes up from the pump, then it goes through the hole in the crankshaft, feeds the main bearing. If this isn't that good, which you can't tell till you see it running, see how much oil's spilling out of it, it's going to restrict oil, it's going to keep oil in this area. So on the one on the far side, obviously, with the shield facing outwards on the drive shaft, it's just an extra. I know you got a bearing seal in there, but it's just another seal, and they're there, and it's free of charge. So that's it. Cases are going in the oven now. These are going in the freezer. Half an hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, and they'll just drop straight in. So when we come back, these bearings will be fitted, and then we'll continue with putting the crank into the crankcases. So back in a second. See you in a bit, folks. Okay, straight out the oven, straight out the freezer. I've got a hammer just in case, and a drift. Straight in, and when that cools, that'll be gripped solid. I've done the other one because I didn't want to do that on film, because I've got two bearings to do, and it's like dealing with a left-handed monkey wrench. But anyway, when that cools, they will be solid. So we'll catch her in a second for the build of the crank into the cases. See you in a second. Okay, the bearings are in, and just for peace of mind, pumps in. I've obviously had the pump apart, checked the springs, the balls, etc, etc. New gasket, inlet, intake on. And what I've done, I've just put a dram of oil in this funnel. I just want to make sure, I want to see oil come up in that gallery before I put the crank in. Then I know it's going to prime. I know the crank's going to get, the big end's going to get a bit of oil. Let me find the appropriate slot thing for this. I've got one somewhere, he said. Yes. So whether it'll go by hand or whether it's just a quarter drive adapter, so that where the distributor would normally be, and obviously because it's a piston pump, doesn't matter which way you turn it. Oh, already. Yes, we're there. Right, happy with that. Let me get the crank set up because I want to see oil now coming out of this gallery, going through the hole drilled in the crank and going to the big end. So back in a second. Okay, she's away. Can actually see it already. Let me spilling out from the big end. There we are. Yep. Oil running, no problem whatsoever. So I'm happy with that. So we can continue building the crank. Let me get a few more bits cleaned and ready and we'll be back shortly. Okay, so I've cleaned all the faces. Just let's lie him on his back because we can. I've fitted all the seals now as well. These faces are lovely and clean. All the holes have been tapped out, threads cleaned, faces clean on this, bearing seals installed. So this should just drop down quite nicely. And just line him up. There's just a dowel at the top, which we're in. So I'm just going to use this one long screw and all the others are the same length. The long one obviously is where the dowel goes, so I'm just going to drop that one in and just do one exactly opposite, probably that one. Or does it matter? Not really, but I've got one top and one bottom and I'm just going to carefully pull the cases together. So I'm just going to give them a squeeze. So I'm not torquing them up around, just so they're nice and the cases have pulled in evenly. So if we spin him back, I can see that the cases have pulled up. So the bearings now are either side of the crank. The crank rotates lovely and freely. And I'm now looking to see if there's any excess play in there, and there is not. I can just hear maybe a thou or something, nothing. Because now when we come to build up each side, I'm going to build this side up first. What's going to happen is we're going to be pulling the crankshaft against the inner bearing, against the inner flywheel, outwards. So we've now got to tighten. I'll do this side first and try it, then we'll move on to the other. So back in a second, let me get the bits and pieces for this, and we'll do this side first. So back in a second. Okay, I haven't done anything about this manky rotor yet. I wasn't going to put that, still dirty. So what I've done, I just put a bit of tubing on there. So I've tightened up, you know, both. They're not torqued up, but they're pulled. So it's now trying to pull the crankshaft apart. So if some of the tolerances aren't right, it'll tighten up. So now we should be able to just spin like we did before, and she spins lovely. So I'm very happy with the crank setup. So next is we're going to actually bolt the two crankcase halves together. So let me strip all this junk off, pull this cover off, get the bolts ready, and find a torque setting for these. So we'll be back directly. Okay, we're nearly there. So I've put the head studs in, the battle and head studs, and I've got spacers and the nuts. The reason is, when I put these together, I'll just pull them lightly first, then I'll drop the barrel on and just tighten the barrel down lightly, and what it'll do, it'll pull these two faces level with each other. I know we've got a register, I know it, but it's just going to make sure that this is also flat. So I've put a very, very small amount of sealant. This is no way any silicone or the like. It's like the Permatex. It's not aerobic, it's the exact opposite. It's anaerobic sealing compound. The problem is, if you use silicone or anything else that dries in atmosphere, when you tighten these cases up, whatever squeezes out, and it will, if it goes on the inside and it starts to set, when the engine's in use, the pieces of silicone or whatever, especially red hematite, don't go there with me in red hematite, it'll come off inside and it will end up clogging up the suction filter, or getting in places where you don't want anything. So a really small amount, and an anaerobic meaning it only sets with the absence of air, so anything that's squeezed out never goes off, and the engine oils, whatever, will dilute it to nothing, because it'll be 1 million parts to 1/1,000,000th of a part of oil, so you'll never notice it anyway. So that's the reason for that stuff, and that's the reason why you should use anaerobic, not aerobic. The likes, I'm not promoting any products. Loctite make them, Permatite make them, Permatex make them, and then it's good. So now this is ready to rock. I've got everything ready, and we are doweled up. So we can now, and just remember when you're putting this together that the long one goes in there. If you put a short one in there and try to torque it to the value, then there's a good chance you might pull the threads out, because this is, it says between 15 and 17 foot-pounds. So I haven't got foot-pounds on mine. I'm in new money, Newton meters. So I'm going for the lower figure, which is 15. So it's times by 1.3 1.35, isn't it? So it's going to be about 20 Newton meters or the like. So let me just get all this ready. So I've got to put the barrel on as well, and we'll be back directly when we're ready to pull it and squeeze it, etc, etc. So back in a second. Okay, the barrel's on, all the bolts are in, just squeezed. The head's on, the barrel's on, not tightened, just squeezed, just to make sure that we're pulling these faces flush and the throat and everything is lined up. So I know that 10 foot-pounds is 13.5. Alexa, what's 15 times 1.35?
15 times 1.35 is 20.25.
Okay, 20.25. We'll go for 20.
Right, 20.5.
Right. Okay, off we go. In no particular order. And I wouldn't go any higher, because remember, you're pulling into aluminium, and fine thread in aluminium is wrong. Should be a coarse thread, as we know, but that's how BSA and Triumph did it. Nearly there. And we did one of these not so long back for a friend of mine. He bought an engine that had already, a cub engine that had already, we'll just go round now, already been done. All kinds of upgrades, racing cam and all that, you know, high compression piston, whatever. And he just wanted to change the sleeve gear for his appropriate gearing. So we pulled the motor apart, and we weren't happy with a few bits we found, and we ended up splitting the crankcases. To our horror, we found silicon inside, but worse than that, whoever had tightened up these crankcase bolts had gone absolutely ballistic, and they were like a wine glass. They'd been stretched that much, so we had to put new crankcase bolts in, and obviously get rid of all the silicone, and then use a anaerobic sealing compound. But that's the correct way. It's in, it's done, it's squeezed. I can pull the barrel off now, because it's only there temporarily, because it's got to be rebored to suit the new piston. But the crank is now set, and she spins absolutely lovely. So there we are, that's this one done, this video done. Crank is installed, everything's pulled down, we know the oil galleries are true, we primed the pump, it's all good. So the next job now is looking at the gearbox. I know there's definitely going to be a few issues, because we've not found anything yet that's issue free. But anyway, we will catch you on the next one. Take it easy, folks.